Hi, so welcome to the third QGIS tutorial. So this tutorial is a series of, it's an exercise to help us understand how to edit, manipulate and use these different data sets in QGIS. So the first thing, let's say we want the outline for Greater Manchester just over here. And so this is what we need to do, is delete all of these different counties and merge all these into one single polygon. So what we have to do, so we have to toggle into the edit mode just over here, and basically if we edit this file and then save it, it will save in our original file that we referenced just over here. So this works in a similar way to InDesign, where if you change the source file, it'll get updated into QGIS, and if you change the source file in QGIS, it'll save it and override it over here. So what we can do is, just because we're in edit mode, we can select the different counties just like this, and then we can open the attributes table, and we're still in edit mode here. So what we can do here is use the inverse selection. And basically what this does, as you can see, it will just select all the different features that we have, except the ones that we just selected. So what we can do simply now is just to delete the selected features from here. And then toggle back to the edit mode and press save. And now you can see all we have in this layer is just so 10 different features, just like that. But they're all separate at the moment. As we said, we want the kind of the outline of Greater Manchester. So what we can do here is just using vector operations, go on vector, geoprocessing tools, and then on dissolve. It's asking for an input layer, so it will be this one, England Counties 2011. Selected features only, that's fine. Let's say we want to dissolve only things that we've selected, only features that we've selected, but at the moment we have them all selected, so this will do the same thing if we select it or not. And then we have an option here. We can either output the layer into a new file or output it in a temporary file. So I'll show you how to do it in a temporary file now, and then maybe we can do it with a saved file. So what I have to do is click run. As you can see, it's creating the operation, and then we close. You can immediately see that there's already one single new polygon, and if you go on the left here, we can see that we have a completely new layer called dissolved. It has this icon here, which means it's just a temporary layer, meaning if I save QGIS and close it, open it again, I wouldn't find it because it's not saved anywhere on my computer. So I can do this, just right click, export, save feature as Esri shapefile. So that we've been working with shapefiles all along, so this is what we want. We'll just give it a name, so I'll just call it Greater Manchester outline, and then we'll give this the feature that we have in our project, so you can see it from the left just over here. Actually, we shouldn't change this because this is the default CRS of the layer. So if we change it, it'll create confusion. So this is exactly for the layer. So if I close this again, go on here, and then go on properties, you can see here, this is the CRS of the property. So this is the reference system the actual data set is using. This is how we're viewing all the data sets together in the project. So we shouldn't change this if we're saving the feature. We should keep the same thing. So again, export, save feature as, it's fine. I'll just give it a location, which is over here, there, and what I'll call it is just Greater Manchester outline. Save. You don't have permission to save in this location. Let's try that again. I probably didn't copy it correctly, so copy, just paste just over here. We'll go to that layer and then save it again. press OK. So now you can see we've created another layer. So every time you save a layer in QGIS, it will create a new layer, and we don't have this icon here, so it's not a temporary layer now. We have it saved on our laptop, so we can go ahead and just remove this just like that. Yeah. Now if I hide this, you can see I have the original layers just over here, and I have the new Greater Manchester outline, and I can change this. I can give it a new color if I want, or I can simply just make it lighter, or I can give it a wider outline, and the fill I can just leave it empty. So now all we have is an outline of Greater Manchester, like here, just like that. So this is the basic style commands where I can change the different fills. I can add different patterns if I want on the fill, as you can see there. So if I click on here, remember this is a polygon and not a line. That's why when I click on it, it turns all yellow, and not just the line on the outside. So now that we have that, what I want to do is import the different wards for Manchester. So again, you should have this file attached to your, you can see here that we've saved the Greater Manchester file. So this file here, all of these files, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are all used for this layer, just like that. So what we want to do now is bring in the wards. So we can bring it here simply by just, again, using the shapefile and dragging it. And if I just move this downwards one layer, you can see that these are the different wards we have in Manchester. So if I just click, we have to select the ward layer, of course. Go back, select out, and then go back here, and then select. And if we open the attributes table, you can see that these are the different wards that we have in all of the UK. And if I use this file here, what it'll do, it will just show me the one that I have selected at the moment and bring it to the top. So if I select on any of these and use this again, you can see that I've chosen Moss Side at the moment, the ward of Moss Side. So let's say now I want to select all these wards within the Greater Manchester boundary. So what I need to do is go on, again, Vector, Geoprocessing Tools, and then choose on Intersection. Now we have an input layer, and this is basically, it gives you an indication of what the algorithm does here. So the algorithm extracts the overlapping portions of the features in the input and the overlay layers. So we want to select the wards by this input layer, which is the Greater Manchester outline, and the overlay layer will be the wards just over here. And then same here, we can, rather than exporting it as, rather than saving it as a temporary layer, we can already save it to file straight away, and this will be the same file location here, and this time I'll call it GM_wards. Save, then we'll run that. Hopefully the way we have it is correct, otherwise we'll have to change the input and output layers. That's fine. Then we close, and then if we turn all these off, we can see that through this operation we've chosen all of the wards in Greater Manchester, just like that. So now we have an outline of Greater Manchester, we have selected the wards. We don't need this layer now, so we'll just get rid of it. And we got the counties and the underlying map also. So now what we want to do is we'll try importing another layer once again. So again, in the example files, you can go on Greater Manchester Buildings and bring that in. just to show you a new operation. And this layer contains all the buildings in Greater Manchester, as you can see. And these buildings, there, for example, if you go into these areas, they're kind of blocks, so they just show any continuous kind of connection of buildings or a single building. So you see terraced houses here, represented as one single block, and detached houses as separate blocks. So let's say we want to count the number of different building blocks for each ward as a kind of operation. So this might be a research question or something you want to ask. So how many buildings are there in each ward, or how many building blocks are there in each ward? So we go on vector, geometry tools, and centroid. And with this operation, what we want to feed it is the Greater Manchester buildings layer. And we'll just we'll create a temporary layer, that's fine, and then we'll run. As you can see here, it explains to us what the algorithm does, and some of the features have invalid geometries, so it'll just tell us that they've skipped it. So we have thousands of buildings here, and this one, for example, is feature number 251,000, also has a problem, so just skipping it. So it's just keeping you aware of what's going on. And when we close, we can see that if we zoom in for each building or distinct outline of a building block, we can see that we have a point. So this is a point here, and this is a point here. And this is a centroid point, so we see that we have this whole mass over here, so it's connected as one thing, and this is the centroid of that point. So another useful operation you can find in QGIS. And you can see here all these different buildings have different points. Okay, so now that we've done that, you can. It's worth noting that if you go on the attributes table again, so this operation, such as the centroid operation, what it'll do, it'll inherit the attributes you have in your previous file. So we created this file from the we created the file from the other files, so we can see here that each one of these has a unique building ID, a name of the ward, and the code of that ward. And if we go back to this one again and open the attributes table, you can see that we pretty much have the same information. So we just wait on that to load. Sometimes it'll take longer if it's a larger file. Again, you can see we have the exact same information. So building ID, the name of the ward, and the code of that ward. So to count the amount of points we have in the polygon, what we can do is just go on the vector, analysis tools, and then use the count points in Polygon. So the polygons that we want to count, so we want to count the amount of building blocks there are in the ward polygons. So what we need to import here is the ward polygons, and that is just a minute, what's the name? The intersection layer, sorry. So just go on section. We need to rename that. It's not a very useful name. I'll show you how to rename in a second. And the points, because we're counting points, it already knows that we want the point layer. You can see here that the point layer is represented by a point, just like that. Points, and then we'll just create a temporary layer for now. That's fine. And we can click run. And now what it's doing is taking all these points and counting how many points there is in each of the polygons. So we just wait for that to finish. And then close. And just bring that right to the top. And as you can see, what this count operation does, it outputs the exact same wards polygons So I can select the different ones. I have to select the layer first. I have to select the different ones just here. And if I go on the same mouse side polygon here and open it, you can see that I have new attributes come up. And one of those attributes is number of points. So what this operation does, it duplicates that layer and adds us a new attribute for each of the polygon. So you can see here how this attributes format is really helpful, because you can contain additional information and just expand the information that you want for each of the board polygons. So just to finalize this, I want to show you how you can use some of these information and display them. So you can see here that we've got the mouse side. We have 962 different blocks in mouse side according to the data that we have. So I want to show you is how to really visually display some of this information. So if I zoom back out again, I'm on the count layer. It's a temporary layer, so I haven't saved it for now. So I can go ahead and save it if I want, and if I want to, just before I forget, to rename a file, all you have to do is just rename layer, and you can give it a different name. So back again to the visualization of the data. So I know that I have this file selected, and I know that I have attribute containing count information. So the question is, how can I display that information now? So in the layering layer styling here, so if this doesn't pop up, you can just view it from, if you go on if you go on layers and panels, you can just see it over here, just like that. So again, we can go on the layer styling, and then over here you can see that we have single symbol, we have categorized, graduated, role-based, etc. So these are the different ways I can visualize my attributes. At the moment we have them all as a single symbol, so a single rule for all of them. I can categorize them. So this is if I have categorical data, meaning name. So I can use this to for using string data or names. I can use this for count data, so numbers, which is very useful. I just click on that, and you can see immediately the layers disappeared because we don't have any styling rules at the moment. So I need to choose the columns. Already knows I've selected graduated, so it requires a number. I just click here, and then on the bottom here, all I have to do is click classify. And basically what classify does, it gives me the different ranges and how to display them, and I can change with these intervals, so natural breaks or standard deviation if I want, just like that. I'll just use equal intervals now, and as you can see here, what we can see is a visual display of the data that we've created by merging different data sources. So yeah, in the following video I'll just show you how to export this information in a PDF or raster format.